Good afternoon, Bike Florida. This is your Spring Tour Ride Director, Joy, and my companion, Baxter. Say hello, Baxter. We often get a lot of questions about how you pack for a week-long bicycle tour. I just thought I would take this moment to go over a few things that I have learned in my own personal experience packing for a bicycle tour. And if you forget something, you can always go and get it. So some of the tips that I am giving today are just some things just to help you get started and get ready so that your stress levels when you arrive are as low as possible and you can just focus on having fun and on riding your bicycle. So speaking of which, this little video is not really going to focus too much on bicycle stuff to bring. Everyone's bicycle is different, everyone's needs are different, so I'm not going to talk about that too much. I do want to say though that if anything, you must remember your helmet. We don't let you ride if you don't bring your helmet, so don't forget your helmet. This video is going to be targeted towards people that are staying in tents, and when you are tent camping, you're out in the elements. Sometimes there's rain or it gets a little wet. So I always recommend that you bring a bag that's kind of similar to this. It has this interior that is waterproof. So if it does rain, it will, in theory, block all the water getting out. Now, this bag has been through a few trials and tribulations, to say the least, but I can always use my trusty duct tape to fix a bag like that, which is like really, really, really nice. You definitely want to bring duct tape with you if you can, because it will solve many, many problems, and if duct tape can't fix it, nothing will. Other tip is pillow. This is a camping pillow, and I've seen some people on bicycle tours like bring like a whole huge normal pillow with them. I do not recommend that. It just takes up a lot of space. Again, because you're going to have your car, maybe you'll want to do that. The other nice thing about like a camping pillow is that, again, it's a little bit more water resistant and it doesn't get gross and nasty or moldy as like a standard like cotton pillow can. Another thing that I have seen people do is you put clothes in like a Ziploc bag and you use the Ziploc bag as a pillow. So again, that is something that I have done many times, and sometimes it's actually been more comfortable than the camping pillow that I had. Next thing, Ziploc bags. These are your best friends on a bicycle tour. They have so many uses, and I think I personally keep the Ziploc company in business, but I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend that you get yourself some Ziploc bags and just put everything you can in them. So I have all sorts of different sizes. This bag, which is, well, actually it's a hefty jumbo, and it's really good for putting clothing in. And I will put my jersey into my Ziploc bag along with the shorts I plan on wearing for the day, and my socks and everything else. And it's all going to be in one bag. So I've got a bag for the day. If I'm really, really super organized, I might even write the day that I plan on wearing them. When it's 0 dark 30 and you are trying to just get out onto the road, you want to get to breakfast, you want to ride, and you are ruffling around in your bag in the dark in your tent, it's really nice just to have that stuff like ready to go and organized and separated, just so that you can grab a bag and just get on your way. So that has been, of anything, the best thing that I have learned doing bicycle tours. The other thing that's really nice about Ziploc bags is they're waterproof, and if for whatever reason there's rain, I was on a tour once where had a nasty storm come through and my tent got flooded, and the only thing that was wet, once I came back and did a damage assessment because the tent was destroyed, but the only thing that was actually wet afterwards was me. everything else was totally dry. And that was because everything was in Ziploc bags, everything. So I even will take a just standard trash bag and line the bottom of my duffel bag with a trash bag to help provide just another layer of water protection. Even if it doesn't rain, things just get nasty and moldy and gross, and the plastic just helps prevent that nastiness from spreading. So the other benefit of having your outfits in different bags is at the end of the day, you can put this nastiness like back in the bag and you can like zip it up and it's quarantined. And trust me, quarantining is what you want to do always. So just trust, right now it's in the 80s where I live, which is wonderful about living in Florida. Sometimes it can be a little cooler. So no matter what the forecast, I always will bring an extra, like a long sleeved kind of insulated jersey just for layering. Even though rain may not happen, just in case, I always will bring my rain jacket for layering. Throw those extra things in. You don't need to do too many because, again, we are in Florida, so just have like 1 or 2 extra. Have them in their own little separate bags, and you will be good to go just in case that inclement weather arises. Let's talk about the practicalities of just living out of a tent for a week, or even indoor camping. Let's just get the big one out of the way, especially for you ladies. Toilet paper. We do our absolute best to have all of our porta-johns and all of our facilities always stocked with toilet paper. But you never know. So what do? I get a plastic bag and I have my own roll of toilet paper. And when I go to the porta-johns, I know I'm taken care of. So that is, again, for you ladies, number 1 tip, bring some toilet paper or those like portable Kleenex, little tissue packet things that they've got for your purse. Those are a bit more expensive and, they run out easily, but so again, toilet paper is the best. And you can even like tear off sheets and put it in little miniature Ziploc baggies that you can take with you to the porta-john, or these will fit into your back pocket when you go on a bike ride. And if you are ever out somewhere where there are no facilities, again, you've got your toilet paper. You can put it back in your Ziploc baggie, seal it up, and then throw it away as soon as possible later. So again, toilet paper. Don't leave home without it. First aid. We've got an on-site medic who will be taking care of any first aid issues. I just always like to have like my own Band-Aids on me just so that I don't have to bother anyone, or you guys are going to think I'm totally insane, but a few years ago I thought I died and gone to heaven when I was at Target and they had like this Hello Kitty first aid kit. It has been the best thing in the world for me on bicycle tours because it's small and it's waterproof and it's got everything that you could possibly want in there, and it's lasted me for years. So you may not be a Hello Kitty fan, but if you go to Target or Walmart and go to like, I don't know, the pharmacy section and look for the kids stuff, I mean, this stuff is actually pretty good. There's alcohol swabs, all sorts of fun things. So really, I strongly recommend it. Being in a tent when it's dark out, you can wear like headlamps or you can have your own little personal flashlight, but I strongly advise investing in like one of these Coleman portable lamps, and you can carry them around and they are so bright and they will fill up your tent with light. It does everything that you need it to do. And I want to say, I mean, they're not the cheapest. It's probably about like $30 or so. This is a thing that I have always used on every single bike tour I've ever been on. They're great. As we like to say, cleanliness is next to godliness. I also recommend bringing some baby wipes with you. When you finish your ride or just in the middle of the day, if it's hot, and you just got things to do, but maybe you don't have time to go take a shower, baby wipes are the next best thing. They get rid of grease, they get rid of oil on your hands. Just grab like a package of these, put them in your bag, and you can just wipe yourself down and just freshen up a bit. They really are great. They have tons of uses. You can clean your bike with them. I just think these things are the best. So next to toilet paper, I will always have my baby wipes with me. And even when I go on bike rides, like on my own, And I know that when I finish my ride, I'm not going to have access to change my clothes immediately or access to a shower. I always have baby wipes in the back of my car just as my way to just clean up before I get going somewhere. So I'll highly, highly, highly recommend these. It's very difficult to get a good night's sleep. Trust me, I know. So one thing that you can do is you can take like Benadryl with you, the oral Benadryl or Unisom. I mean, they knock me out cold and they just help me get that good night's sleep. But, you know, they can leave you a little bit groggy the next day. So I don't know if that's what everyone wants to do, but I know that that's what some people do. If you're on the bike for lots of miles, day after day, things are going to start to get a little bit rough and a little bit sore. So regardless, I would recommend just bringing along maybe some, whatever you take, aspirin, Aleve, you know, ibuprofen, just to kind of, if you know that you're going to have a few of those aches and pains, it just will help you get through the day. Of course, on our tour, we are having our Florida Avenue beer tent. So there's nothing like a nice cold beer to help you relax at the end of the day and soothe away those aches and pains. We also are going to have an on-site massage therapist, and you can reserve spots with him when you get to the campsite. So that's another great thing to help out with that. But worst comes to worst, you know, Advil, naproxen sodium, all that stuff is always really, really good. Make sure you bring plenty of water bottles, and not just for your bike ride, but for afterwards. So I really, really like these Polar insulated bottles because they stay nice and cold. And so like at the end of the day, I will fill up, make sure my water bottle is filled up with, you know, water. Just so you can go back to your tent and you can make sure that you've got, you know, something to drink, especially if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, you know, really, really thirsty, which will happen because it's very easy to get really dehydrated, especially if you're not used to the weather we've got here in Florida or the sun. You really can't drink enough. And so just to make sure that you've got extra water bottles on you and that you've got them filled up and in your tent at night is a really good thing to do. All of our rest stops, we have plenty of Gatorade for you. And we cannot emphasize enough the need to hydrate beyond just water. You want to make sure that you get enough electrolytes in your system. Losing all that potassium and sodium, magnesium as you sweat causes major dehydration problems. And it can get really dangerous if you get really low. So don't just drink water. Make sure that you drink something with electrolytes in it. So there's Gatorade. If you're not a Gatorade fan, go to your local bike shop. Ask them for some alternatives. I know that I personally really like Scratch Lab stuff. It's kind of, it's a lighter taste. It's not too cloying or, you know, sugary. And they've got lots of nice different flavors, and it'll take care of your hydration needs. The other thing that I really like, just because it's so convenient and it's kind of fizzy and nice, are Nuun tabs. And I've actually seen these at Publix now, but you can get these at your local bike shop. You can order them on Amazon. I think there's like 10 to a thing here. So I can even put these in my back pocket and ride with them. But again, they've got all the electrolyte needs that you have. If you finish your bike ride and you are still feeling thirsty, again, just pop one of these in your water bottle and just make sure that you drink it. And keep drinking until you get that thirst away. But remember, don't just drink water. Make sure to do something like Nuun. And what's awesome about being on a bicycle tour for a week is not only can you eat whatever you want, but you can put as much salt as you want on anything. It's awesome. So if you're a salt fan like me, you know, don't hesitate on the salt, unless your doctor has told you otherwise. But it's really a time that you really need to make sure that those salt levels are good in your body. We make sure that you guys are really well fed on our tours. Our rest stops are, I would say, the best in the business, and we want you to gain weight when you're riding your bike with us. I mean, there is just anything and everything you could possibly want. Food-wise, you are going to be taken care of really, really well. But I don't know about you, but it happened to me on my very first bicycle tour I ever did. I woke up at about 2 or 3 in the morning And this was the most I'd ever ridden a bicycle in my life. And I was so hungry. I could have killed like a live animal and eaten it. I was so hungry. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term hanger, but that's, anger and being hungry combined. And I was that way. And all I could think about was pancakes. And I just wanted to gorge on pancakes. And it's 2 a.m. I knew I was going to have to wait at least, 3-4 hours before I could eat. And I just got really, really grumpy. And then I had to go wait in line to eat breakfast, which made me even grumpier. So here's my little tip to take care of that. And remember, on our bicycle tours, there's no judgment. There's no shame. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you need to munch on some Girl Scout cookies, please do so. So Girl Scout cookies are for sale now. Go out and buy yourself like 5 boxes. I don't care. We don't judge. Keep them in your bag. Keep them on your stuff, on your person. And when you wake up with those hanger pains, you can, just eat to your heart's content to keep that grumpiness at bay. The best way, of course, to eat cookies is to dip the cookies in cookie butter. And again, that's just, in my opinion, that's just the best way to be doing a bicycle tour. What are you going to do during your free time? We're doing all sorts of crazy things to make sure that you are entertained and have tons of stuff to do. But I don't know about you, but sometimes I just need time away from people. So I may go, take a nap, or maybe you want to bring along, some light reading, light reading, or these adult coloring books are like one of my most favorite ways to relax. So get yourself some coloring books, get yourself some, crayons, or some coloring pencils. And really, that will be a nice way for you to have some downtime. At our headquarters, we are going to have some board games and some cards. So if you just want to go there and just kind of chill out and maybe play some games with some people, that will be an option as well. Don't forget your sunscreen. We are in the Sunshine State, and there will be a lot of sunshine. That's what we give you guys when you come and ride your bicycles with us in Florida. So just make sure you've got plenty of sunscreen. You're constantly putting some on. We've got some at the rest stops, but just make sure that you've got your own personal supply. Well, guys, I guess that is it for now for this video of my tips and advice. If you have any questions, feel free to just ask on our Facebook page, and we'll try to answer them as well as we can. It's going to be a great week, and we will see you soon.